what is it, the definition for new soul, and what is the importance for your life that you are. For me, is it soul is also it's 90% for your life. So soul is really, really important for you, because without soul, it's not so good for your life. For me,
Mm.
it's my interpretation, but perhaps I'm also really interpreted it in a wrong way. But that is one thing I'm really interested.
I think that's a really
Question.
interesting way to put it or to ask the question. And I think that's what it took me a while to process. But I was thinking about the same thing a couple of days ago. And I, I personally have never classified myself as a soul
Ah,
artist. I've
ah,
never, I've never, I personally like, because I like all music and I listen to all types of
Mm.
music. Um,
ah.
I feel as though when I'm presented that opportunity to make that type of music, I make it as such with my own with my own interpretation. Um, but with that being said, in the last few months, whilst I was traveling, I was able to like have some introspective moments, and I realized there was a moment that I had, and I realized why people could categorize me as a soul artist. And I was okay with it because I understood. I was like, I listened to myself in a way that I'd never listened to myself before. And I was like, this is why people think I'm soul. And I'm okay with that because, like you said, it has to be 90% of your life. I think I got to a point where I may have forgotten the extent of my experience. And because obviously it's me, so I'm accustomed to however I move or the growth of how I move and how I sit in that growth and how I deal as such. So I forgot about the experience that had happened. Or maybe I've just blocked it out because it's too much to take.
Mm.
But when I remembered, I was like, oh, this is why. This makes so much sense now. My life has been, I've developed, like, I felt I've always been an old soul anyway, but the way I move, the way I operate, how I function, it just makes sense to the music. It just makes complete sense. Um, if that answers your question.
Yes, yes, yes. And the other thing is, for me, I like it that you have not a classification,
Mm,
and
yeah.
I like it really, really. But you know, for me, the other thing is, if I listen soul is for me Otis Redding. That is
Mm,
also from my father. He's dead 15 years ago, but he loves as a white man. He loves the people like Otis Redding, people who bring him to move, to shake his body and everything like this.
mm,
And that was Otis Redding for him. That was also, for me, is it Wilson Pickett or the or James Brown or something like this? And you are right, but is soul something that brings first people together, and
Mm.
the second thing is soul also something what the highest form for emotion, others not? Is it a sort for emotion that you couldn't
mhm.
explain?
It is like a general, it is the expression of that's what it's supposed to move you to feel. Music is storytelling. But I understand also
Yeah.
that soul, and I'm glad you mentioned Otis Redding because like that sound, that sound of Otis Redding, Teddy Pendergrass,
Yes.
Al Green, who else? Even Peebo Bryson, the sound in their voice, Sam Cooke, um, Donny Hathaway, especially Donny Hathaway is like one of my favorites, and that sound. It's otherworldly. So I understand what you're saying as well, because it's a different, it's like you feel it all in your body, you feel it in your blood, you feel it on a cellular level when it comes to soul music.
Maybe on the topic of like music that like makes you feel things, um, like is that kind of music um hard to write or hard to produce, or is it cathartic to write and like
I
peaceful to
think,
produce
yeah,
because you've been through it already and
I think to answer your question, I think it can be all
to
of
help
those
you?
things. And
Yeah.
at different times it was only maybe perhaps one of those things or none of those things. It was just
Mm.
writing is just such a joyful experience, and and it's a gift, like to put music on and to be able to like share how I'm feeling in that moment. I I used to struggle to write about, say, if I was going through something, I would just lock off. I could completely shut down emotionally,
Yeah.
and, and I wasn't able to write about it in that particular moment. However, with time and like practice, because it's all, not only is it like a release or a way to communicate my feelings, it's also like it's an academic thing for me. Like I like to write. I like to test myself on
Mm.
how I communicate. So every time I write, it's like a new mental challenge for myself. How can I communicate this thing? And it could be anything I'm talking about. It doesn't
Mm.
have to be a song. It could be a poem. It could be just an essay, if anything.
You write
Um,
poems and essays too.
I like to
Mm.
write. I enjoy. I might not share it with people, but I like to write. I like to write.
Yeah. For instance, because I like examples and things. For instance, Mercury,
Mhm.
I'm guessing that one was one of like the many, many songs you've written that I guess is based in some experience that you did have and you wanted to be able to like forgive yourself about thinking these bad things about yourself and just let it go and start anew.
You know what's interesting? Thank you for that question. Um, what's interesting about that, Shakira, is that when I wrote that song, I believe in 2019, it feels like 2019.
Mm. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I didn't release it until way later, but I think it was 2019 I wrote that. And
Yeah.
I was in the midst of a deep depression. I was trying everything and all the things to relieve myself of the feeling that I was having, I was overcome with. And I remember feeling so like I remember feeling this energy with me and asking everybody to leave the room so I could write the song. And although I was still
Positive energy.
in a dark space, I might have been having a good day that day, and I was ensuring that I utilized that good day and or a good period of time. Um, so to answer your question in its entirety, is that it feels healing now. I can sing it and it feels healing now. At the time, I knew it was a good song, and I was like, "This is amazing! Like I've never wrote anything like this before. This is
Mm.
fantastic."
That's beautiful to
And
say.
and I left it because it took a long time for it to come out because of production and just getting things done and stuff like that. Um, it is healing now to sing it, and also because when I performed it on Yours Truly,
Yeah.
um, it did really well, and also it was played on BBC Extra. Yeah, it could have been one extra. Um, so it was, yeah, it is a So the writing process of it, all of it was just, it was, I don't know. And it was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was all of the things that you said, you know, it was, I'm grateful to have been able to write a song like that.
Mm, definitely. And like I think a lot of people like noticed that as well, which is probably why BBC actually picked it up, and then yours truly London. And it was one of the ones I heard you perform it yours truly as well. Like it was just like one a beautiful song to listen to, but also the meaning behind basically forgiving yourself and yeah, moving forward, which is, you know, doable. And I think the song shows that um, moving forward with like rituals, whatever that may mean for you, um, stating the problem clearly, and then saying this isn't how it is anymore. And yeah, just forgiving yourself, which thank you for giving me the opportunity to review that. Yeah.
Oh, that's so kind. Thank you. That's very sweet. Thank you.
Mm.
I think also for me, the Mercury, um, this song means also that you are embraced the whole world. It has universal values, and everybody feel touched with the song.
Oh,
And with different, they have different access. So I think it's for all. It's
Yes.
also for the young. It's for a kid with 8 years. It's also for a grandma with 80 years. It's also for the youth. It's also for a middle-aged person. It's for all.
okay. Thank you. Thank you.
So, whatever problem that they can be through, and I'm guessing maybe um moving on to a different song now. Uh is your song We Are, is that the message of that as well, like reaching out to um everyone basically, and um because like lyrically it sounds like you're complimenting just one person sometimes um
Mm.
like for instance comparing to um Imhotep, who for those of you who don't know was a architect, builder of the pyramids of Egypt, for instance. So this, yeah, like brilliant stuff, but also saying that like people can have problems and arguments. Well, this is just my interpretation, but what
Yeah, no,
did
it's
you
so
think?
interesting. I always love to hear your interpretations of this. It's just so lovely. Please continue.
Like, what did you think when
So you know why I
creating
said that
the
line? So
song
I
We Are to
say,
make it feel?
so to answer I'll answer two questions. So
Yeah.
you are the one that I have asked for, and
Mm.
so I
You
go,
are the
and you
sun,
are
sun.
like, I go like, you are like Ra, the
Mm.
son of my son, kiss my skies, don't ask me
That's me.
why. And
It's my
you,
sky.
so I was talking about when I say Ra, Ra is like
Yeah.
the way you say like Ra, it's like it's a London like, or it's I would say it's like a colloquial slang. It's like saying, oh my gosh. Also, when I say Ra, I'm
It's a bit
saying
like
Ra, the
that.
sun god,
Yeah.
to connect with the Imhotep line. And yes, I am saying we are all one. If you, I'm talking to one person, but I'm saying that if I'm talking to one person, I'm talking to all of us. If I'm talking to me, I'm talking to you. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I'm talking to all of us always.
Wow. Wow, that's literally brilliant. And I guess also in that song you're saying that hey, there might be a little bit of disagreement in there. Um and make you feel like, oh, I don't know why, and then things are solved in the end, maybe. Maybe.
Okay, so that part that I don't know why, oh why, I don't know why. That part is
So
from, I was trying to do like a take on the song by
Wayne Wonder and Betty
Wayne
Benson.
Wonder, yes. And but wow.
I'm
You do your
from all
research,
the
girl.
original, from all the original one by that guy who was also vision impaired, the call operator guy. Renzo, okay, I didn't
Oh
do
no,
my
I don't
research,
know.
but
I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
know, but I'll
but
be
basically, yeah. So you want to do play on that, but what did you also want to do?
but that's just to answer your question on why I put that I don't know why, because the song goes, I don't know why, oh why. So I wanted to put that in because I was trying to add some sort of, because I was doing the video in Trinidad, I wanted it to have an essence of the islands,
Mm,
albeit.
yeah, yeah, and also because you recently went to Barbados, didn't you, for the Soul for Change Festival?
I did,
Was
yes,
it
I
for
did.
Barbados Independence Day, and what was that
It
like?
was originally planned to be on Barbados Independence, and then it was rescheduled to another
Oh,
time. But unfortunately, it didn't. Yeah, it didn't take
happen.
place. Yeah.
But at least you tried and gave it your best, and like did connect with some awesome
Yeah.
people. Is
So
that right?
I met some really amazing people. I had a great time. So it wasn't a wasted time.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, the song Mind Games when
Oh,
you're
okay.
um
You're not a
like
superstar.
uh,
No matter how far you go, you're loving
it's
me from. So that I love someday. Fill me
yeah.
up. Yeah, the tune, yeah.
So what was that about? Quote maybe a wasted time, like with someone or maybe something, or
I don't consider any time it was about a time in my life that I could reflect on and be like, this is how I was feeling, this is what was going on. And because the mainframe of the song was already written, I just had to write my verse
oh, wow.
and sing. It was like it was just a match made, like it was just a match made in heaven. I heard it and I was like, I know exactly what to write.
Oh,
I know exactly. It came to me
how
so
did
quickly.
you? How did you like did Saxon invite you? Saxon was the other singer.
Yes,
Um
the
did he
artist.
invite you or did you say, "Hey Saxon, I'm Aneesa Marie"?
So
um
he sent over. We met a few months before a writing camp, actually at a writing camp,
I think
and he sent over the song, the beat, on the song with him, and I was like, okay, say less, I got this. And I was at home one evening, and I just wrote it, and I sent it to him.
no,
He's like, yeah, this is what we're gonna do. I was like, cool, and then we just set up the studio session. We just did that.
no.
It
Yeah,
was great.
that's probably super cool. And like, I guess the video is cool too because it shows like him, like, oh, I don't know, was drink or whatever, being like, oh,
Mhm.
mind games, my friend. And then there's Aneesa Marie in like I guess, a black dress or something. And you're like, you're not a superstar. No matter how far you go. And
You know
it's
what's
like,
so funny about that? You see, the "You're Not a Superstar." Somebody was in my DM maybe like a week.
Direct
or two
messages.
weeks when I was writing the song, maybe like the same day or the day before, was in my DM, and that's what they said to me: "You're not a superstar. Don't think you're
Oh,
this and you're that, blah 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 blah." And I was like, "Huh, that's so
mm,
funny." Okay, so when I got this the thing, I was like, "This is perfect. This is absolutely perfect." So I wrote it in, and again, you're not a superstar, but Nova is star matter.
like
So no,
supernova.
you know what I mean? It's a play on words.
Yeah, and I love that.
Yeah, that was a fun song to write.
Oh, yeah, I literally didn't think of that. I thought you were telling him like, you're not a superstar, so don't
No.
try to tell me nothing.
Yeah, no.
But
So
like
this is
that
I'm
was
singing it. I'm singing it from the point of view of him saying it to me. So you're not a superstar, no matter how far you go. And then I'm saying you're loving me in crumbs. I want to eat the whole loaf someday.
release
Fill
the
me
voice that.
up. So the last part is me singing to him. I
Oh,
always
okay,
try to
cool.
write in
Um,
conversation.
yeah, and on the topic of conversation, um, let's move to a different song now that with of the conversation of Matrix, I guess, because I'm guessing maybe that was like more of a conversation about um what might be going on more politically, maybe, or at least it was basically about like and also the effects of real people like you, like me, like you, like everyone really at some point in our lives about poverty, about racism, about
Mm,
injustice, and then as you
yeah.
saying, it's just us. What was the messages of Matrix, for instance, and how did you highlight that it's just about people, so let's have a conversation?
That's a really good question. That's a really good question, Shakira.
If you want to
Um,
break it down, just let me know.
um, I feel like you've broken it down enough for me already, girl. Um, but that's exactly what the message is. I was writing about the inequalities that we all face, even those that we think don't face it because it exists. And if we don't acknowledge that it exists, then we can't have a conversation around it. And I was trying to, I guess, incite maybe questions, maybe like critical thinking. You know what I mean? Like just different thought about the things that we exist in. Um, yeah, and also like my understanding of what spirituality is as well. But yeah, it's just us. How can we need to have a conversation.
Yeah, and I love also that at the beginning of that song, like you said, have courage as well, like mustering, summoning courage from the get.
Courage from the get.
And for you, did you say like that was maybe something courage like from the past as well, like like Nubia and like your own experience, basically just summoning this courage because I guess it is hard sometimes. What do you think?
I would say it's that line is about asking. So when you summon something, you're calling on something that's deep, that's far away, that is, you have to work very hard for it to get courage to summon something. And when I said Imperial Nubia, I'm talking about like my ancestors serve and protect I. It's like a chant almost, if that makes sense. Mustering, summoning courage from the get. Imperial Nubia, serve and protect I. And then I'm asking a question of, I wonder, do you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You
Because I'm trying
understand?
to get into a place of almost like a trancey. It was like a trancey feeling,
Yeah.
if that's even a
And
word.
then then it says about like, oh, things that might be reality for some people would they like juxtaposed to the reality, so like inner city kids by the wayside dead, or anything like this, but then even throughout that, like you still have, or the the person still has like this courage that things will be alright.
Because
Is
it's
that what
just
you...
us. Because we have us at the end of the day, and it's really about community.
Yeah.
It's about community. It's about looking after, like, this is what we're dealing with. We need to look
Mm,
after one another because at the end of the day, no one's coming to save us.
yeah.
No one's coming to save any of us, not as individuals or as a group of us. So we have to get it together.
Yeah.
But
Mm.
but Aneesa, what I am like is that it's community for all, but in reality, it's a really good feeling song, and it has a lot of empowerment. But the thing is, what do you think? What is necessary that we are not separated a community, so that we are a community? What are the three things that we are take care for peaceful community, for community for all people?
Yeah.
Oh,
What
three
are the three
things.
things that we need for community?
Oh, we need organization.
Organization.
We need communication. And we
And
need a
number three,
safe space.
safe space. Wow.
Do you think also that we are need also brave spaces, that it's interact, that without safe spaces we have not brave spaces, without brave spaces we have not safe spaces? Do you know what I mean?
I'm trying to understand.
I guess maybe define what you mean, Jochen, by brave space. Can you define what you mean?
So Shakira and we are have also connections with one organization. They are called Healing
Healing
Equity
equity.
United, and they are defined brave space also, that it's a space, and we have also the experience where you have also can be emotional, because we have the experience last year that they are beginning to crying or something like this, and it was not it was for me a brave space, because all the people say you have the possibility to cry, you have the possibility to laugh, or to smile, and that's for me sometimes the definition that I define for brave space. Yes, but
Okay.
I don't think. How do you think? What is for you a brave space?
Oh, what is a safe space for me?
A brave space.
A brave space.
Yes.
Um, oh, hmm.
Is it a space when, but also a space where you can get support from others if needed? Or what do you think?
I've never considered the idea of a brave space before. If I'm understanding what you mean by that, what you've explained.
Okay.
Maybe you could think about
So
that
the
one.
thing is for me, perhaps my English not so good, but I think every time I have a little bit problems with a safe space, because a safe space has something to do.
Maybe.
I'm not really, I'm not feeling comfortable enough. So I need a safe space to say
Mhm.
also a border. To say, okay, stop. And a safe
Mhm.
space, like I understand from this people
Oh,
from the Healing Equity United, I
Mhm.
understand it like this thing, okay, safe space is without a border. You are like the song We Are, you are person, you are human being, and you have the right to say, no, I have no fear. I am what I am.
yeah.
Yes, that is for
Mm.
me. But I don't know.
Mm.
Okay,
Like,
well, I think places like that do exist. I think a brave space. I think being yourself is a brave space, no?
yeah,
Cool. Thank you. That's cool.
Because like just to be able to, there's those days where you want to hide away from the
yeah,
world, from
Yes, cool.
yourself. And you have to learn as you get older, something that I've realized. I've had to learn to get comfortable with myself every day,
mm.
all the time,
Very
until I felt to,
comforting.
well, I'm actually okay. And I realized it can be I'm not for everybody else, but I know for myself, it can be up and down sometimes, and sometimes it's not as
Yeah,
solid. And people might think that it's, wow, she's so confident, but it might not always be like that. And I've had to learn step by step, day by day, minute by minute, hour by hour, like to take my time with myself. And that could be hard. So I would say I'm a brave space because sometimes I don't want to go outside, and I've got to do the thing so I can do what I need to do. And it can be very draining. It can be, but it's necessary. And it helps to teach you resilience. And yeah. So I would say I'm a brave space. You're a brave space. We're all brave spaces.
Cool. Thank you.
mhm. And correct me if I'm wrong, Aneesa, but is it that when like the world has made you feel unsafe, then it is hard to immediately step into that brave space and say, "Oh, I'm still gonna be brave." Like, is
Yeah.
it
It's
now?
not necessarily just the world that might have made me. And we use world in the wider and smaller sense, but it
Yeah,
could also be, when we say the world, it doesn't necessarily, or maybe it does include oneself. You know what I mean? Like, it's all the things that have got you to this point, all the things that you've done, not done, the absence of experience and none lack thereof. So it's yeah, I would
process, would you say?
yeah, it's definitely a process, girl. It's
And
definitely a
in
process.
process, step by step, day by day, you can emerge into that brave space.
Yeah, because and some days that brave space doesn't feel so brave.
Yeah,
And that's okay too. But also knowing these things is it's like, okay, cool, I'm aware of this thing so I can take my time and I don't need to put this pressure on myself, Like it's just being aware, but that takes work and time.
Yes, yes, yes.